Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, owner of Paulk Homes, and this is episode 4 in the making of my mobile woodshop. Today we'll take a few minutes to look at the progress. First thing I did was build an 8-foot box or cabinet to hold the workbench and miter stand so they can easily be pulled out and set up on the job. That box then was set 5 inches away from the sidewall to create a nice deep area so I could slide in the supports for the workbench and also the bottom shelf again, so I can easily slide out and set that up. And then the miter stand right next to it. Additionally, I created a little space for my levels to keep them organized and easily accessible from the rear. The slots for the levels are all uniform. They're 8 feet deep, and I just simply measured in and placed a screw through to stop the shorter levels from sliding in any further. So here with a 4-foot level, it stops at the same position that the 8-foot level stops. Once the box to house the workbench and miter stand was completed and installed, that became a natural place to set the table saw near the rear of the van so that I have plenty of outfeed. And it also set the height of the countertops or the work surface. Currently is slightly higher than the surface of the table saw, and I did that intentionally so that for my final installation of the table saw, I can rip some shims to lift it up flush for a perfect fit, and also allow for the future potential of a different table saw working here. The table saw will be mounted with a couple of through bolts and a couple of wing nuts so that it can be quickly removed. The table saw is limited a bit on its ripping capacity because of the space. I didn't want to have the edge of the table saw out any further than it is, and with the fence going up against the wall, I'm limited to about 19.5 inches of rip. The next thing I did was build these 3 small modular cabinets that hold the work table at the right height for the table saw. These will eventually have shelves and or drawers. I've made a couple of shelves at this point just to see how they work. They slide in and out nice and easily. I have not put the screws in the bottom yet to keep them from sliding out. And then if I want to make drawers out of these, of course I'll be making sides, so the drawers and shelves, as discussed earlier, are pretty much identical. I made sure that I had about 3.5 inches of room to create one of these narrow depth shelves to hold my butainers. I find these gobble up accessories and screws and all of the miscellaneous things that are nice to have on a job. So I've got plenty of room to add more of these, and I will be even building more shelves like this on top of the countertop near the back of the wall to hold the uppers up. So I should have plenty of room for butainer. These are 2 of my largest cabinets that'll be built for the shop. They were the ones you saw fabricated in episode 3. They support the outfeed table work surface, and they will also house some of the larger tools. In this cabinet here, I plan on putting my planer up high so that it can be slipped out and set right on top of the bench. The aisleway is 32 inches and nothing else will protrude into that space, so that'll keep it nice and wide if I have to carry extension ladders or pick up some material or just work room. On the opposite side, I started by building this base cabinet, again to give me some long storage with some slide outs. Now this will serve as a base for some other cabinets, and on top of that will be the miter workstation. The miter saw is going to be mounted offset to the rear so that I have plenty of outfeed. To the outside, obviously, I have no limitation, but to the back of the truck, I'm limited to that wall there, so I wanted to give myself at least 8 feet, preferably 9 feet of outfeed to the right side of the miter stand. The cabinets built on this side will be the exact depth of that base, which is 20 inches. The heights will vary. The ultimate height will be exactly the same as the workbench across the way. So the cabinets will vary in height. The shorter cabinets set up on this base, taller cabinets going down to the floor. The 2 8-foot drawers that allow good storage for some of my longer tools, such as the mast for my cabinet jack and my laser jam extension, and I'll be able to get some other long tools in here as well. The lower drawer is identical. This one, I have plenty of storage for my long wood clamps and some of my demo tools, And again, plenty of room to add some more tools. And these drawers slide nice and easy. I think just there's not much friction, less than I thought there would be. The drawer is already pretty heavy and I'm able to do it one-handed. And then in the back I created a 6-inch wide space, the full 8-foot depth, and this allows me to carry 2 extension planks, which I use quite a bit for interior work. So with those on board and then my adjustable ladders in the back, I have some nice light-duty interior scaffolding, and I find that I use those quite a bit. So that completes the update on my progress on the mobile woodshop. Thanks for taking the time to watch.